Let me also bring in my colleague Siddharth Rege once again into this conversation. Siddharth, obviously, the government is extremely concerned here. S.G. Mehta also said that the blocking order had been issued under Section 69A of the IT Act, and this was important, keeping in mind that the representation that is done through Telegram, for something as sensitive as NEET, has to be sacrosanct.
Vineet, this is the evidence that my colleague Sambhav Sharma has accessed, and these are the screenshots that form that evidence that the Solicitor General himself was mentioning in the Delhi High Court. And I'm going to talk about some more details that have come out of this affidavit straight away. We've mentioned the Terabox cloud storage links that were mentioned before, and as our experts have also mentioned, why it was difficult to track. You can see a decoy being posed here, as you can see on your screens, error 404 when you click on the link, and when you actually see the active link, you can see that 5 MB of files exist, which are these fake papers that have been circulated, and as mentioned on these particular Telegram groups. This affidavit also shows how these people have been warning all their subscribers and on that particular channel. The admin states that the group is public and maybe on agency radar, and that is why they had these backup links also that were placed here on the Telegram app, where you can see them being mentioned. Join backup 1.0, join backup 2.0. So that if in case the agency tracks down this particular channel, they can just move to a separate channel. The modus operandi has also been mentioned here in this particular affidavit. You can see the hook being these Instagram accounts through which people were attracted. Then you had these Telegram links that were shared. There was monetization as well, which are rupees 10 lakh demanded post-exam, and evasion then also comes in because, yes, as we mentioned, there were decoys in place. You had these, obviously the edit feature that Telegram allows as well. And here is what Solicitor General Tushar Mehta also said in court. There were these recommendations for action that were shared with Telegram. A request to ban private Mafia and backup channels that were shared, as soon as these accounts were tracked. But clearly in the affidavit it mentions that that Telegram has not been able to take any action against not just these these channels, but against these features that exist on its platform that allow this entire ecosystem to exist.
All right, thanks for that, Siddharth. Let me also rope in my colleague Sambhav Sharma into this conversation. Sambhav, the court, of course, has reserved judgment, is what we know about this case, but Pavel Durov, the CEO and founder of Telegram, is absolutely vexed and nixed as a result of this ban.
Well, absolutely. Here, what Solicitor General Tushar Mehta yesterday hinted in the Delhi High Court is very much clear with this small affidavit filed by the center in the Delhi High Court today. And it is very much clear what SG has said today, that how this platform is preferred for certain terrorist activities, and in a way, as he also highlighted, that regulatory actions can be taken against the platform, and certain other countries have already taken certain actions against this particular platform. So what SGS said inside the courtroom today, this particular affidavit by the center, by the Union of India, shows detail as to why exactly a limited ban was imposed on Telegram, because Telegram's main contention before the Delhi High Court was that why only Telegram, why not other intermediary apps? That was the major question posed by Telegram. And also in a way, Delhi High Court has asked certain questions to center as to why Section 69A of the Information Technology Act being used, and are proper measures being taken. So it is this particular affidavit is a kind of explainer to that, It's a short affidavit, 158 pages affidavit, and on page number 5 and 6 itself, center is making it clear that why this particular ban is imposed on Telegram and not on other intermediaries, because there are other intermediaries as well which Telegram is said in the Delhi High Court why there is no ban on that, and how this Telegram could be a breeding ground for further paper leak, and why the paper leak can be avoided through banning Telegram. All these answers are there in this particular affidavit. If I talk, my colleague Siddharth has already talked about in detail about important points in this particular affidavit. But here, let's talk about Telegram's privacy policy. This is point number 10 on page number 9. Here the Telegram's privacy policy expressly provides the deletion of an account results in removal of message, media, contacts and other data stored in Telegram cloud infrastructure. And clause 10 subclause 1 of the privacy policy of Telegram states that deletion of an account removes all messages, media and contacts and every other piece of data stored in the Telegram cloud. This is exactly what was the argument of Solicitor General, who was representing Center and defending this particular ban on Telegram, and this is exactly what SGS said inside the courtroom. And now in this affidavit, details of it is very much clear, and also why section 69 clause 1 is invoked by the by the center to temporarily ban Telegram. And also the most important thing is preventing unlawful activities, especially how Telegram is a kind of in a way preferred platform for certain terrorist related activities. So a national security angle is also there. And another important point, it is this particular company Telegram is registered in UAE, and so under article 226 of Indian Constitution it has no right to challenge it, to file a writ before the Delhi High Court. These are the important submissions made by Center through this affidavit. Also, in orally, SG has made these submissions before the Delhi High Court.
All right, fair enough. That's wonderful information, some of that you have provided us.